that whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. Hello there everyone, and welcome to this video with me today. It's a beautiful Venus day, it's Friday, and I have a beautiful video topic for all of you, for all of us. So today is the last of August. It is post the eclipse season. It is post the integration phase. It's a back from the retrograde and into the movement, into the direct states, and we are receiving so much. I know I am, and I wanted to create this video before we go into the Ascension update for September, which I also already created, and I will be uploading it soon. But I wanted to create this synthesis of the illumined union journey, and I wanted to talk about some of the things that I felt are really beautiful to talk about. I want to also say why, this is so intensely coming through at this time, and what this synthesis journey means for a lot of us. I know that for me, my own illumined synthesis journey, where I am at this point, is birthing through me the last initiation, which is the 13th octave or gateway of the mastery courses, which I always do in reflection with my own embodiment, and I'm sharing this more in the Ascension update that's coming soon. And the course Illumined Creation Mastery also coming up in September right away. But in this video, what I want to share first is that I have an announcement. And my announcement is that just today I did my first live stream on Instagram. If you're not my follower on Instagram, I just ask you to join me if you want to be updated with these videos, which are more like in terms of readings. I don't do readings on Facebook. I did one, what's your illumined purpose reason, kind of for being here, that kind of reading. But mostly I do these work kind of types. Whew, lots of energy coming through. Sorry, I did a lot of work already today, so I might not be so fluent with my words. But I started doing these live sessions more on the topic of readings. And I want to do more regularly these readings also in alignment with the path of Lumen Union and messages shared. So today I did my first live stream, and it was about your own devotion to this path and what does it mean for you, where you are currently in the beloved union integration. I will also be reading to you something that Spirit shared with me today. I've recently started a new personal service. That's my second announcement. And these services are kind of like, when sometimes the most simple things actually can get across a lot of light streaming through, a lot of light quotes of crystalline frequency. And I share a lot on the component more with knowledge and wisdom. But this is more like this feminine way of receptivity. And these Ascension or Cosmic Union light grids attune you to your inner essence at the core level, your highest expression or potential to integrate within your feminine frequency or essence of creation and the masculine. And then we have integration. So I want to share more with you about these layouts. I did a few, and so far every one of the individuals who's gotten the grid, this was just a new starting service of mine, they were really happy and everything was really much in synchronicity. But I also want to share with you before we start today's topic, how much when I'm doing these readings, I cannot control them. It's when Spirit wants them to be shared, that's when they're coming through, because I focused my entire life on what I share on pure devotion. I don't do things on a whim. I don't do things just because I have a feeling I need to do something, like it's this structured way. So even with my readings that are now maybe going to be more frequent on Instagram via these live transmissions, I don't want to have like this steady structure in terms of I'm going to do them every Friday. This is not my way. I do when Spirit calls me to do something. And when it's a calling, it means that people who are there to receive are also part of that calling. They're putting a calling out. So the messages coming through will be for them, and it will be also for the part of the greater group. And this is why I felt called today to do this work of synthesis in terms of what the illumined journey truly is. But if you're called to be assisted on your own journey of integration by masculine and feminine, and what's your current essence is, how do they really want to come together in this point of integration. I advise you to check that out. The detailed description is on my beloved section of the Serapina Light webpage. The service itself is on my personal services tab, which you can find. There's like many services I offer, but I really love these and the way they come through. I received so much in terms of the frequency, the energy coming through, and I share a little of the description with you as well. I send you a short description of what I'm receiving as I'm doing your grid layout. There's also crystals there, and I've been shown how the crystals also respond to the rays, and they show a lot on that note. So the main grid structure that I shared on my page, it's mimicking my own embodiment process, my own integration. So it's my example, the way spirit flows. And I've shared this with you before, that when doing readings, and you could basically see me doing that on the What's Your Illumined Purpose video. It's like I just allow cards to fly out. I allow everything just to come without me choosing it. So I'm not doing anything in terms of control. It's all pure spirit guidance, and it's how it's formulated. I use a lot of self-channel things. As you know, I've shared with you before, but it's so much coming through. I can't do all at once. I already have 2 oracles in preparation. One is the Journey of the Cosmic Beloveds. I have 27 beloved oracle paintings. If you haven't seen that video yet, it's there. And it's also underneath my beloved tab. It's just scroll right down and you'll see that video there. And there's also the Cosmic Gateways. These are like very intense channel drawings from the Holy Spirit perspective, which will be part of the book, and Oracle, which will accompany the books in the near future. You know, there's a lot to create. But so far, the way I do my own input, besides using, oracles, me, oracle collector, I have so many. I love them. I love art. I love the way divine love comes through art. But I have developed some of my own tools of how I get messages across, because this is most important for us. So in this beautiful heart, magenta, fuchsia pink, the essence of divine love, I have like these golden, as you can see, these are like devotional words for your union. So I always draw them in 3s, because everything in creation operates through divine trinity. So they can create a sentence through which we can align with the next devotional path, instead of being confused and thinking about what's next for me or what's my destiny. You're actually creating an intentional based partnership within yourself and in your alignment with the harmonious partnerships. So what is really important, recently Spirit shared with me, and I'll also read this to you. It's also on my webpage, but for those of you who are not so much in the webpage kind of things and you're more just the videos, recently Spirit gave me these words, which I felt were very important, because a lot of people still formulate the essence of their love around a condition or a person or an idea. And Spirit has shared a lot about that sometimes the prevalent factor will be the idea of the union more than the union itself. And this is what we really have to be watchful for in our journey of divine integration. So synthesis cannot occur, and we're going to be talking about that today. What's the synthesis point? So these were the words. When the love of illumined union outgrows the love aspect which we might hold about a person or condition, our human relationships will begin to reflect only that which is fully liberated and illumined in its essence and form. And in the Ascension update, we're actually going to be talking about how to create or co-create with the essence of Holy Spirit. So if you want to tune more regularly in the readings I'll be doing, because I feel I won't be so much talking about this as a general topic, because this is the synthesis. Everything in my life is at the point of the it's like the apex point where the synthesis occurs, and it's all about what will we create with this, because I feel at a certain point we won't be anymore so much asking about these topics, so much is shared there. But when you do a synthesis, you want to create with that. All you want to do is give birth to new things and ideas. You don't want to be, again, talking about the concepts of it, So I'm going to show you one example. I'm going to pull 3 of these words, and if you want, quickly on Instagram, just follow that live video stream before it evaporates. I don't know, it was my first one. How long do they stay? I don't know. The second one, I did this week, where these heart-shaped channel messages, all of a sudden I saw a vision of the heart. And I couldn't sleep because new cosmic waves were streaming in and coming forth. So I actually felt to channel 27, as you know, that's my number. You can see that in the beloved Cosmic Journey video when I share these paintings, why the number 27, and explain a bit to you. So this is actually 27 messages that you are sharing with your beloved essence. So it's within the template or blueprint of your twin soul nature that you're constantly sharing these messages. And these reveal where you are, or, you know, your mission, or, you know, like coming together. So I'm going to show again, 3 examples. I'm going to pull 3 examples today before we start with the topic. Or for those of you who maybe are not on Instagram and you feel like, oh, I'm missing out, I don't want that. Share something with us here, please, Polona, Aurea. And I will. Okay, I'll do that. I'll pull 3 of these. I really was channeling messages, and then I was cutting out these hearts. It took all evening, you know, it was like all night. I was doing a lot at that day. But the doing never gets done. It's supposed to be fun. See how spirit rhymes? It's really simple. When you're with love, were you in love? So we're going to do our messages, okay? So we have sacred cosmic merging. That's our word, okay? So these are the 3 words. Sacred. Tune into what this means for you in the moment. Cosmic. And merging. So beautiful. So today is actually a very much of a working Venus day for me, but it was a beautiful unfolding within the twin soul nature and beloved journey, because it's kind of work that's fun, work based on this cosmic union integration. And recently all the messages I've been getting are about love, big love, divine masculine, divine feminine, coming together, union. It was like one after the other. So I felt, okay, these messages really want to come through. So to compensate for my working mode, I felt like I need to spruce up a bit. And I'm even wearing my crown probably after more than a year. I haven't worn it like forever. So this is new. Old but new. So these are the 3 messages I'm going to read to you now. So imagine these words are like your beloved saying them to you and you saying it to them, where you are currently on your devotional phase or stage of your unfolding journey, which means sometimes this journey is not like what we make it to be, you know. And to go deeper, you can check your options. I always give you 3 options to choose from to get more specific, unique messages that apply just to you and specifically to you in this moment. And you can also, as you know, get from all 3. But imagine these messages are like the language of light that you have within yourself, which is the language of light through which you continuously informing each other about where you are currently in your mission. And as you know, no oracles can give you the final answers or results, and they're not meant to. But these things are supposed to deepen the essence of our feelings so we can feel the beloved always at the essence level first. And this was my main teaching. And we're going to talk about this synthesis and what we're here to do, especially the volunteer souls or the illumined twin group. Yeah, but first let me read these messages, okay? Okay, so these are different than came out today, okay? So that's good. That's really beautiful. But these probably were tuned to the group watching now via the video stream on YouTube. So, first message, heart shape. Feel your love. I love you. I'm here now. Can you feel me? So this message is about, you know, we often seek for the beloved outside of us, and we want a certain relationship to be that beloved, or we project that. And we're going to be talking about this as well today. But this is about really feeling, and when you feel the beloved, because you feel yourself, you've done the integration work, you know who you are, how can you not know your beloved, right? I always say this to people, you cannot not know it unless you still have veils of illusion that are okay, because they point towards a certain integration that is necessary for you to step into. The next message is, I love everything about you. Please love yourself too. So obviously someone needs more self-love. Sometimes it's even about our bodies. We feel we have to look a certain way, to be a certain way. And the beloved journey requires our full devotion in terms of, you know, caring for our body just as we care for our spirit. And a lot of the people who would say, I'm very spiritual, they forget about the body or they neglect the body. And this is like this sometimes negative self-image we have. But the beloved is a full acceptance of every part of our flesh, just as like every part of our liquid light codes is divine. And it's about, can you feel yourself and love yourself the way I see you? So these messages move straight through your heart. They pulsate beyond the, you know, the constant, you know, like the constant brain, mind. It's like this inner monkey brain that keeps asking questions. When will this happen? When will come into union? When will this? And people get so much into that these days that they get confused and they forget to really feel what the heart of the beloved is and be in that state, preferably all the time. So the last message is, I'm working on something now. Please be patient. So with this one, we have the union is there, but sometimes there's things that have to occur. And let's say people who are meant to be with each other in this destined cosmic, I say, partnership, this beautiful devotional partnership. And I have many videos which explain the difference between the vertical understanding of the twin soul nature and the horizontal path that unfolds and reveals to us what is truly the path of the cosmic beloved in human form. And we're going to read about this, what I channeled for Spirit today. It's on my page as well, for those of you who maybe don't check that out. Okay, so the cosmic beloved, sacred cosmic merging, those are our words. And this merging requires us to merge aspects of ourselves that, we maybe don't see all the time. And it's through the unveiling process through which we go through that actually this kind of synthesizes, that is brought into form. And I'm going to also pull, this is not going to become a standard for reading, but just today. So we have this card, Luminosity. This is truly the confirmation of illumined union. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be doing a synthesis of the cosmic journey of the beloveds. Maybe some of the questions you still have and don't understand how this applies to your life, because you might have an understanding that's deep, but your life maybe doesn't reflect that. And maybe today in this video, you're going to get some insights. So, luminosity. If you feel resonance to this, just feel what is the path of illumined union beyond just the concept of the twin flames, because it can get distorted in our realm. Also, the message coming through today via the reading was, people like to segregate or put in different boxes the labels for relationships. Like, this is a karmic one, this is a soulmate one, this is a twin flame one. But in truth, that's not how Spirit shows it to me. These are not separate boxes. And in truth, divine union does not know that, and your soul does not care for labels at all. It cares for the love. It cares for the way love is carried into your physical human form, and that it illuminates the human body, the human evolutionary experience. So when I was running today, I got more guidance, and they were sharing with me how the illumined twin soul path is basically here not just to have that within our blueprint, because we do, but we came here to be humans at this time, to also work on the human blueprint, which is the physical blueprint, the genome, the human genes, and to rewrite the code. And this is why the illumined twin group is very much radical in the way we do our missions. We're very much about this mission. Let's say maybe there's other groups that they feel their path is different, okay? And they see this merging as a little different. So remember, there's sacred cosmic merging is all these layers and levels coexist as one. So how could you say, well, this experience is karmic, this one is twin soul, and this one is soulmate? In truth, when you look at creation from the level of, like, it exists as a giant pulsating womb of the divine. Within it is the core, and all these different layers are the pulsating dimensional spaces through which we're uncovering reality, co-creating with reality, and creating new realities as a result of that co-creation process. So basically, for me, the twin soul nature experience through our harmonic convergence of the self with the other, the mirror, the counterpart, is a co-creational experience which opens new gateways. It brings a fuel to new creation. It has the ability to rewrite something and becoming something totally new. That's why the illumined group, who has this awareness, we're basically writing the human genome code into something completely different. But this doesn't mean, okay, we only exist as, and we only know that in our experience, the vertical twin flame alignment, which means you are only your own beloved, or, that's the extreme, and you have only your own mission, and that's that. Or on the other part, we say, okay, there's people having karmic relationships. They need that because they're still learning through these relationships. That's what they're having. And we're so different from that. No, creation is knowing that these levels all coexist. at the same time. They're all conjunct in this now moment. But we, in terms of how much our soul has evolved, which means how much it has expanded in the greatness and vastness of life and creation, we're experiencing at different notes. So it's like experiencing at different octaves. So when you understand it from this perspective of the cosmic now, the quantum self, which is all and yet it's always at the core, it's the essence itself, it means we're playing through these different aspects, but we are also refined at each of those aspects. So the experience of let's say I have a cosmic illumined partnership, and that partnership will reflect where I am, where my soul is, the refinement of my frequency embodiment, which means my physical body has to match the frequency of my consciousness. And this is also here one of the messages, okay? It's the body needs to match. The body frequency needs to match our consciousness, which is what a lot of people on this illumined path are doing. And they're not understanding always the process, but this is what it is. But let's say I'm saying, well, now I exist only at this highest vertical point, so I'm only a teacher of the light. I'm only always this. I'm always just vertical. It's just me. There's nothing else. There's no one outside of me. I'm only my own beloved. I'm neglecting or negating the aspects of me that play in this physical realm. So it reminds me of the people who say they're living in the fifth dimension. You're not living in the fifth dimension. You're living in the third, moving into fourth density. That's what humans physically are becoming, more and more of fourth density. But you are dimensionally embracing all dimensions. So you, in terms of your existence, you live in all dimensions simultaneously. But it's how much awareness of these facets of life or realms of life you have that are brought into your now and your field of awareness. So that's the difference in how subtle our experiences would be, how much refined they would be, how much they would reflect our true essence and nature. So let's say I'm not only existing as this vertical point of light, okay, teacher of the light, which I am. I'm an illumined being. But it means I also have the human component, which would also, as a part of this vertical self, it will experience other notes of creation because I'm playing with all life in creation. So while I'm in the 3D, moving into fourth density, I'm experiencing this facet of life. And to negate it would be to negate all creation because all dimensions coexist within each other. They're embedded as frameworks within one another. So our blueprint has all of it. It has 12D crystalline matrix within it. Okay, and this means that I'm also experiencing the energy or the essence of soulmates, which today in the channel message it came through as soulmates or playmates. So your vertical experience, your vertical beloved, this essence which you know as your eternal flame coming into your physical form also has to reflect the nature of your human self, the way you live your life as a human, how you play, what you love to create, how you like to spend your time, your leisure, your activities, all of it comes into play. So you say, well, that's my beloved, but that being has no alignment in your horizontal world. You only see it as a vertical expression, and you're so fixed on the idea that that's it. You're missing out on the essence that also wants to come through. So this is the soul mate. It even has a name component to it that says that's a mate. It's a mate for life. It's a life partner. Well, when we say the aspect we call karmic, we also feel that. It's not perhaps the negative karmic experience, but it's still karmic because through karma, we're actually bound through the laws of these contracts and agreements we have with Earth, with Gaia, with playing out. So the aspect of karma in an illumined sense would be, it's how Spirit is showing me, to live your purpose through an agreement. It's not like you come together and you forget about your agreements. All you care is about being playmates. So you see all these levels intertwine. So once you are ready to start doing the illumined union integration and synthesis, through that synthesis point, you will no longer, like people say in these twin flame videos, say, oh, that's your twin flame and that's your soulmate. You are more in this realm, you're more in that box. They're always categorizing these, okay? We are not here to put ourselves in boxes as divine illumined humans. We are experiencing all levels of creation simultaneously in this quantum now moment and this fully embodied now moment. Okay, how does this apply to our masculine-feminine integration? Our journey through the synthesis of lumen union has taken us through many extremes. At certain points in life, we might have gone a lot, and I'm talking about the illumined twin soul group, okay? Those of us who are volunteer souls who have chosen on to take imprints to transcend them through our own illumination. So you're getting an imprint of a certain essence that has been distorted, okay, playing out in this realm and creating more like a negative reverberation. And we came to say, okay, ooh, I'm going to take this, I'm going to infuse it, I'm going to infuse myself with it in order so I can transduce, if that's even the right word, and I'm going to put new crystalline structure into it through my own love and understanding of it. That's where divine compassion is born. That means seeing all timelines, all frameworks, all the contributing forces, all the playing out forces of everything that's taking place, so the polarity can once again become matched in terms of unified polarity. So that's what we did, okay? This means that in the way this played out in the feminine masculine integration, we sometimes moved into the extreme so we could feel how people feel when they're only embodying, let's say, a very distorted feminine aspect or a very distorted masculine aspect only, so we could create new pathways for humanity by going through the experiences of ourselves, of this, which means we have created the experiences and relationships that could mirror this to us, instead of saying, well, these relationships were our ultimate. Okay, we're going to talk about this in the last portion of the video, how we can still more and more deeply let go of this idea and to really step into the ultimate by embracing the true nature of illumination, what it is, without these false concepts or ideologies, because the love of the ideology is not the love of union itself, okay? So this integration of the masculine and feminine, one example that I can show you is, in the first parts of my life, I was really in the masculine energy. I was exploring this. I was so action-based. I still am. I'm always hyper in that way, but it's different now. It's fueled through the feminine. The feminine within me impulses what I want to do first, and then the masculine goes into action, and this is how it's supposed to be. But for us to implement that framework and put it in our blueprint and to write the whole code for all humanity, that they have this possibility once again to be in the illumined state and exist in all these 12 energy centers or chakra gateways simultaneously. Okay, not like I'm living in the fifth dimension. Can you live in the whole blueprint of the crystalline matrix design simultaneously? That's the creatrix design for the illumined humanity. There's much, much, much beyond it, like 144 and like the whole source matrix, but we're not going to go into that today. The illumined template for human beings at this time is the 12, okay? This is the 12 based, and the 13 is that synthesis. This is what we're doing now through creating the synthesis of our own illumined unions. So when you're stepping into this part of your journey, you're gonna notice differences in your bodies. Like I said, our bodies had to adjust. So the first message is, when I did this oracle for myself, that I've taken through just for myself, the first message was that the body's preparing for me, or it, the one, had to be able to receive each other. Okay, it was one of the very important messages, and that it's happening, that there's no worrying about it, and that the time for the reunion is now. That's why I'm sharing so much about this at this time. So in terms of feminine, masculine, when I'm giving you this example, I keep jumping, I know, it's so much at the same time coming through. But one example was, I was really in this action mode and I was running a lot of the time. And when I was running, I received guidance all the time. But I wasn't so much in this gentle, feminine, graceful presence of the body. And the guidance wasn't yet coming through in that way to be fully embodied until I started really illuminating that aspect. And I embraced the feminine principle. And now the synthesis is the merge of both. So when I'm running, I feel all this receiving. I'm always receiving so much. This is my channel. This is like an alignment, a physical body alignment with the way I receive guidance. While the feminine polarity for me is the tantrika yoga and dancing. And when I do this, it's a different feeling. It's like the body knows, and the body's knowing is a little different than this constant receptivity through channeling all the time. So when you really embrace both polarities in the physical body, this is when the synthesis and integration can truly come and be unlocked. And I did this, what did I do? Yeah, I did this symbol in yoga, like you see, like two triangles coming together. But this has to be done in the body, in the embodied form. So when our bodies hold the light quotient, it's like our glass is full of that light quotient, and you can pour it in the divine human, which can become overlighted. You have no more veils of illusion. You've dropped that. You did the clearing of the ancestral of these imprinted beliefs you've chosen to work upon, especially as volunteer souls, we do that. And you're ready to come into full union and integration with yourself, to once again radiate with pure joy, bliss, frequency of divine ecstasy. Okay, so the next step is this cosmic orgasm, and I'm working on cosmic orgasm, of course, but more about this next time. So what else does this mean? Okay, I'm going to read you first about this integration, and then I'm going to share something with you as well that I feel is really beautiful. And how can you step more into this integration? So if you're gonna check out my page, you will see there's an example. There's two triangles, opposing triangles forming a Star of David, or the Merkaba star. And the middle represents the core essence in the now moment, which is also the point of divine synthesis. The middle point is the synthesis point where the divine feminine and masculine triangles oppose each other in the Star of David Merkaba formation or creation known as the ascended self. The bottom of the feminine triangle represents the root of the highest feminine integration, while the upper part of the masculine triangle represents the root of the highest masculine integration journey. With the middle positions, or at the side, left and right, for each triangle are serving as the indicated integration process for those main anchors. So the anchors are the bottom of the triangle, the upper and the lower. The key to this process is the inner recognition, which is the vertical self expression of the twin soul, the vertical illumined beloved, and how it can be then reflected in the illumined divine partnership, which is the horizontal expression of sacred devotional partnership. All of the interconnected aspects and influences in this process as forces of light are internal, not external. These are all extensions of our higher aspects as we develop ourselves into this higher knowing. This means holding the highest light of compassion and illumination for aspects that are still experiencing themselves through the so-called fallen frequency or distortion. The gateway is through embracing the receptive feminine principle of life, as it allows the active masculine principle to come forth and lead in an illumined way. That process occurs through compassion born of divine love and Holy Spirit union. The Holy Spirit essence in this equation is what helps to liberate the fallen aspect so naturally and with purity of higher consciousness by holding all life as precious and equal, whatever our current experiences may be. This inward integration process means that these distorted or fallen masculine or feminine aspects are held within our own self, which then reflect that in our mirroring experiences and relationships with the masculine or feminine energy in our life as outside of us. Shifting perspective on that will liberate us while no longer associating our beloved essence integration process of illumined union with a person or condition in our life, but rather an inner alchemical union, of course a marriage, which is whole and complete in itself. When this fully shifts from within us, it is when all of these aspects playing the game, so to say, will merge in a unified perspective of true love and spirit devotion, rather than externalized ego-based concepts and ideas which we either take on from the matrix, the imprinted, distorted creatrix that was basically, manipulated, or developed as distorted inner beliefs. But it's usually one and the same. So the matrix influences our inner beliefs because we're kind of like indoctrinated or held within that template. So as you can see, what this means and can represent to you is that this journey is realizing that this is not like something you would say, oh, my counterpart has these issues, okay, this is what's happening. So I want to share with you something that might help you. I don't know exactly, but these are the two names of the videos that I've watched. Basically, these are the only two, I think probably one of the only two videos on this topic that I really resonate with, because most of them are so not really about the illumined union. One is, what's it called? It's called Twin Flames, When God Chooses to Bring Twin Flames. And the other one is called The Beginning of the Twin Flame Reunion and Relationship. Very much similar, these two transmissions, but it's about the very nature of your illumined twin soul template, okay, and what can still cause distortion within it. So when you come to a point of synthesis, this distortion no longer exists. This distortion exists until we're still integrating these polarities. And a lot of times I will witness and see through my own observation people who get very attached to a person on their journey being that for them. But like I said, we meet people for various reasons. And in these videos, I think specifically they're calling the awakening twin, I call it the awakening experience. They're calling it the catalyst twin, which is something or someone, usually it's someone, that will help you to open up spiritually to higher levels of yourself. Um, because usually, you know, we need a mirror. We're always working like this. We're operating in this realm that this mirror will catalyze our growth in ways that are not probably possible. So usually why these mirroring experiences, or some people call them false twins, I don't use any names because they're already labels. But I would just say activating points, triggers for your further cosmic union and ascension journey or illumined twin soul journey, which means they're designed specifically to unlock the code, especially for volunteer souls, what you've came to work with. So let's say these hold patterns of distortions within them. That's why these relationships are never easy, or they experience waves of separation. And one, they say, oh, one is runner, one is chaser, all of that. But these are not labels again. These are catalyzing forces that are specifically designed through your soul to trigger you so you can be activated on a new level of what to unveil, reveal within yourself, so we can work with that energy to eventually bring it into a form of pure essence. And an essence form is crystallized, it's non-distorted, it's really based on your seal of creation, your divine twin soul blueprint. And even in these videos, it's explained that the twin soul blueprint does not hold these distortions because it's pure creation. It's your birth in creation. It's your origin. It's your divine uniqueness. And within that template, there can be no room for these distortions. That's why when you're experiencing mirrors or partnerships that still reflect that distortion, it's highly probable, possible, that these are not unions that are your, what these people are saying, bona fide twins. I would just say the ultimate, I call it the ultimate beloved, which is the vertical expressed in horizontal in terms of true love. True love being mirrored on all aspects of your humanity, which is the twin soul, what you're calling the highest aspect, divine service, your alignment, your mission, the soulmate being the playmates, creating, co-creating on earth with Gaia, your, how to say that, it's instead of codependency, there is a mutual co-creation, which is your companions because you match. You're not just vibrational matches, you're also life partnership matches for each other. When there's great distortion between people, like distances, not physical distances, I mean distances in terms of energy expression, this is usually not the ultimate beloved, but it's something to get you to love yourself to the fullest point so that you eventually come across what is within you as the essence level and love yourself and embrace yourself at the essence level. Remember this message. I love you. I'm here now. Can you feel me? And I love everything about you. Please love yourself too. This is loving yourself at the very core. And that core will start to reflect more and more in your physical embodiment process. So when these catalyzing experiences come in our lives, a lot of people who don't have the framework yet fully unveiled, they will mistake that, especially if it's their first twin awakening relationship. They will usually say, well, that's it, and jump for the, for the first gun. But usually it's not like that, because this journey requires so much synthesis that the beloved, which is the ultimate, it comes with more wisdom. It comes with more of your soul's maturity after you've already gone through the process. And it's not the same for everyone, of course. But within the illumined twin soul group, this is a love without the effort for love. This is a love that transcends this meaning of you're trying hard for it. It is simply wired within this nature of ours that it's natural and it's organic, and it's this flow of companionship. So the third level, right, which we would say the karmic, I would say at this highest resonant frequency, this is the destined element or aspect, is then what binds you together then, with your mission alignment of the highest through your essence, then with your playmate nature, your soulmate nature, then how you flow through this, how you flow it with your agreement with the world, with people, with Gaia. And it's basically contracted as well, but it's contracted from higher realms and higher levels. But you have to go through all the density and dualistic polarity so you can uncover that, you can unveil that. And that is why for people, their first awakening twin is usually not their ultimate, because the journey of the twin soul that's illumined is not designed this way. The only reason that this is this way is because we've chosen to help and assist this planet. And that's why it's not like an overnight journey, and it's not about you finding someone and being fixed or fixated on the idea that that's them. This is about you being love in human form. So if something on the outside or relationship cannot provide that love at its highest level, it means it cannot be your mirror for that level. And like they've also explained in those videos, it's all about the love. It's not about the labels. And if that love at its highest, it's not there, don't call it, oh, it's just, use an excuse. Well, just in separation. You yourself, in truth, if you're an illumined being, you're never in separation. You came here to assist through union. But you're unveiling the aspects that you've somehow absorbed by coming and incarnating into this matrix system so that you can transcend those. And you have to get smart about it. You're going through this wisdom process through life hacks and resolving things by seeing through them, using your discernment, your empowerment process. And as you're doing this, your counterpart is doing this, so you're kind of like being pulled more and more together, more and more, which doesn't mean like, but it's like you're both going in a spiral, and along this spiral, you're meeting aspects of yourself through different mirroring experiences and partnerships. And each partnership that will, as a part of that journey, temporarily in that moment reflect love to you is good for you, because it is showing you a deeper version of what's possible. But at the same time, when it's not mirroring that love for you, it shows you this is still not the ultimate. Then you go back to yourself, you do an integration process until you fully love yourself, but at the essence level. This is not the kind of love, the self, which is, love yourself, go treat yourself, go to a spa, take care of your body. That's such a minimum capacity. This is loving the core of who you are, knowing your essence at the eternal flame spark, and not like going stray from it just because you have a feeling like someone is supposed to be with you or your partner. Because usually the first levels of this experience, which is catalytic in nature, right? Spiritual catalyst, is we're usually still projecting the ideal, which is the ultimate, but we have this as in vertical experience, okay? We're kind of projecting it to another person. Okay, we have that desire because we have a memory. We have a desire because remembrance is there. People who don't have that same desire, who are not pulled towards this journey so magnetically, is they don't have that remembrance there. But this is about transcending that and moving that remembrance state through projection into conscious mirroring. And on each level saying, it's not meant to be written within my divine twin blueprint of illumination, that these distorted energies can play out because they cannot be sustained. This is an illumined blueprint. This does not, exist. So all that we're going through, we have to clear out with other relationships, with other forms of these partnerships, until we really are ready to come at the apex point of this synthesis. And usually this synthesis will mean a birth of our true self, our true mission in life, our true self-sovereign way how we create. This is what my mastery of illumined creation will be about, and this is what I've birthed through my synthesis of illumined union within my own self. So this requires two sovereign beings who have done their template. And how it was explained in these videos, they also said why for women it was so easy to come into this codependent nature is because there was so much programs before, playing out, and they could not hold their true spiritual light and be that light by falling into that codependent nature with someone they said, oh, desperately I want them to be my partner. We had to clear that out. We all been through that at a certain point of our life. It's just that some people are with relationships they hold as their marital partners or spouses or whatever, lovers only, even maybe for whatever. But some people, even if they're not in a committed partnership, they will hold a specific level of expansion for a very long time until they're ready to shift to the next degree of knowing and spiritual light through the Christed union. And certain people will shift very fast. And if you're shifting very fast through these different expressions, you're usually on this divine beloved's journey because you've chosen to go through it rapidly, do the clearing to eventually create this point of synthesis. This is where a lot of you might find yourself at this time. That's why I'm guided to share so much about it, because I feel it's really time, it's happening. But there's last vestiges of these illusions we have to clear, even in terms of the time. When people will tell you, or psychics will tell you, this is your time, this is when you're going to meet the one, this is really your time, no one knows, because they can't read your blueprint. Your blueprint is, it's like your own Akashic realm. And your Akashic realm, as much as it's all available to the whole, to all, it's a very intimate process. So there's things that are shared and they're communal and they're a part of the whole. There's also aspects of creation that are deeply intimate and also personal. So that's why we're given this as a gift of light, to understand that how much through this illumined journey you will value that which is intimate and true just for you. And if you've had counter experience to that, you were probably mastering this within yourself. Okay, because you had to develop this inner dependence and the interdependence, because the interdependence is not possible without the inner dependence. Okay, this is just how it is. So a huge part of this path right now through this synthesis is like letting go of everything, the how, the when, and especially the who. Okay, I know it goes the same for people who already have someone in mind, or people who have no one, who's like completely like out of the blue, I don't know who that being is. Either way, everything has to be at this point of synthesis completely let go of, so that it can crystallize and come together through what I call the blessing of the Holy Spirit. Because these unions of the highest nature that are illumined, they can only be birthed through the grace of Holy Spirit, because that's what they do represent. The Holy Spirit is an aspect of source or creator that is life-giving. We're going to talk about it in the Ascension update. But let me just say here that it's like the final gateway or initiation for you to come into this apex point of synthesis is everything you've worked for. You've put in your illumined, you've put your creatrix of illumination design, the blueprint, you've put it into your human genome. You've kind of been infusing your human with all of that. But at the last popping point is like, now it's just pure spirit. Now it's all up to this, because this is how you actually master complete divinity. The life as absolute, the you that is born in you in this way. And this is what illumined beings have done before, but we've come now to do this on earth. And it's a beautiful process. And I love this explanation that usually that relationships that cannot reflect that pure state of love, and we're using excuses, yeah, but that's because we still have to go through this and that. Sometimes can be true, but sometimes it's used as an excuse for you to not see what's really there in the bigger picture. For us to truly be in the bigger picture, to see this dimensionally, with sovereignty, with pure respect for where we are, we have to really unwind from all that we have, this distorted perceptions. Because Spirit cannot grant us this final passageway if we still have even like one slightest point of non-integrity, non-alignment, non-authenticity. Because they're still veiled, something is still covered there. So the uncovering process is a huge part of the synthesis now. I gave you the titles for those videos. I'm not going to repeat what's shared there, because that wouldn't be authentic. That's not me. So you can watch that. Yeah, I did a little oracles. We did the luminosity. That's beautiful. You see, we're here to have this illumination. This being here holds pure compassion. Someone asked me today, why there's still so much suffering, and when will humanity finally shift? And a part of our mission here as the illumined beloveds is give off these messages of what is truly divine love. Okay, what's divine wisdom? Because I know people mean well, and a lot of people want to help these aspects that are being somehow harmed, or it's like the free will is being abused. But what's sometimes not seen here in this bigger picture is that we see life only as, like something is a part of the victimhood process, or something is being harmed, like nature, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, other fellow human beings. But we see like we want to have compassion for that which is being harmed, but there's another component, which is also the element of creation of that which is doing the harm, because that's also within it is damaged, it's in separation, and it lives there. So your compassion is not purely born of spirit before you can hold compassion for that which is being harmed and that which is inflicting harm on others through pain and that separation. And then we absorb that pain, we take upon the pain of the world, the weight of the world, and we're not doing any good. So as illumined beloveds, we came here to share the truth of how much we can shift on this planet, how much we can be the light of the world by knowing our purpose. And you do that first within yourself, because anytime you waver and you give yourself to a relationship that's in a way false, and it's not false in its truest sense of the meaning, because it does serve its purpose, as everything does, but it's false in the way you perceive it. You have to perceive it for what it is. And each time we kind of put a false excuse and we say, well, we're kind of like giving it reasons for it being a certain way because we want to align it with what we're experiencing now. We truly are here to deserve the utmost happiness and bliss, as, you know, the Garden of Eden or heaven on earth lived through us. But we can't really do that if we still have these distortions. So a huge part of our journey was to rewrite that in our human DNA so that our bodies could be fully aligned with the consciousness that we hold at the illumined level. So recognize yourself as an illumined being and move beyond these things and these associations you might have with people in your life, and see reality for what it is, because it's a clear pathway into this step of synthesis, okay? So our illumined blueprint is never distorted, it's never in separation, it never was. That's why when we even slightest associate the twin experience with something very dark and dense and polarized, we're not seeing it. That this is the catalyst experience that we need to transcend that, to translate that through the liquid light of the crystalline prism, you know, of our crystalline nature, and to bring illumination into that. And when enough light quotient is gathered there, we're going to overlight that experience. We're going to illuminate it. And this is what we're doing. We're illuminating all these aspects that have been distorted, that have not been seen in the light of truth. And the light of truth for me is only illumined truth. There is no other truth. All else is like steps towards the truth and your own personal unveiling and personal truths you might resonate with certain parts of your life. But the illumined truth is the only truth that's really that which holds our crystalline matrix together. And this is what is already pure. And it's the Immaculate Conception or divine design built within divine perfection. So yeah, on this journey where you are, you can attune yourself in any way. You can watch these readings I'm going to do maybe more frequently now on Instagram. And yeah, the course is coming up now. They're going to be huge because they were born through that synthesis aspect within me. What else? We did the oracles, and yeah, you can check out the services. I also do personal live Skype sessions to help with your own integration process. These are most advanced work I can do is one-on-one, but these beautiful gateways, ascension grids and layouts, they're very much, they're high, you know, high in their aspect. So much comes through, and I want to share this gift with everyone, and it's always just beginning. I just started with this. It's very bright. It's beautiful. And so far, everything good is coming from it. Thank you for staying tuned. Please know that we have this special mission that is sacred in terms of not being different or higher. It's just we're much broader in what we came here to do, because like I said, we came here to birth the new template. We came here and each one of us had to do this separately first, because there had to be sovereignty born through us. And having these illusions about what this journey truly is not making us sovereigns. It's just keeping us further away from the crystalline light being born through us and us existing as the feminine and masculine Christ in unity consciousness. Thank you for watching. I wish you the most beautiful, glorious steps in this divine synthesis journey. The Ascension update is coming soon, as well as the course in illumined creation, and coming up, the cosmic orgasm as well. If you have value for my work, if you value it, if you feel it's precious in assisting your journey, you can always help by assisting through supporting, donations, Patreon. And talking about Patreon now, I want to have a final announcement. I wanted to offer something especially for those who are supporting me on Patreon, and I thought I could do Ascension readings, and I was thinking or contemplating about it the whole summer, but it didn't fall through yet. And the reason being is not a lot of people are supporting there, okay? It's not like so many people. So I felt, why would I do a video or channel message that just a few people can watch? So far, Spirit is still guiding me to keep it unconditional, which means that Patreon support is already for all the guidance that's already shared through all my writings, all my videos, which is hours and hours and hours and hours and months and years of work. 8 years now. Perfect number for divine union and synthesis for me. It took 8 years. Whew, what a journey. What a journey. I know there's a reason why I've chosen 8. It's perfect. Couldn't be more perfect. So yeah, I'm going to keep it like this in this format. If you're supporting me on Patreon, if you're new, you're always going to get your illumined oracle, as well as every donation does. You're going to get your cards and crystals, a blessing from me in spirit. And yeah, I'm going to keep it like this so that more people can tune into that. So if you're supporting me there unconditionally, means that it's because I also share unconditionally with everyone, not just limiting it to a few people. I want like the life force to move towards its highest potential expression as always. This is how spirit works. So thank you for understanding, watching, staying tuned. So much love for a beautiful journey of illumination and your beloved path. May you find your beloved, the ultimate beloved in your path. May you find each other in terms of being guided towards each other through your sacred work, which means you each birth that sacred work within yourself first. And then that sacred work will kind of magnetize you together in the perfect space and time in your now, in our now, in this beautiful new earth template we're building together. So thank you for watching. So much love is in power, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.